Welcome to the month of March, the month of my birthday, the month that I call transformational. Hi everyone, and welcome to Words with DatOneLady. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the podcast. You almost did not get one this week, but it is Saturday. I'm going to record this and I'm going to post it almost immediately. Fingers crossed, God helping me, knock on wood. Hey guys, it is the recap for the month of March. And I hope you all have listened to January and February recap. I must say it's been an interesting exercise having to go down memory lane, because when I do this, what I do is I go back to pictures, go back to videos, go back to notes, and kind of figure out how I was feeling and where I was at in the month. And the month of March, like you heard in the intro, was the birthday month for me and the best woman in the whole world. And those who know, I didn't even need to call their names. It was myself and Whitney's birthday month. And since I met that woman, she's taught me how to take the month of our birthdays really serious and important to our lives. And then we just plan non-stop on what to do. And I'm grateful to God every day that I get to spend, that period of time celebrating with a very good friend of mine. And sincerely, when I went back memory lane to the month of March, all I could see was pictures from us being together, during that period. And, March was quite uneventful. Like I mentioned at the beginning, it was kind of transformational. It was like a transition period where, when I mentioned February, I mentioned how February was me telling myself, now this is what you want, this is how you want the year to go. January was crappy, you went through your ups and downs. February was okay, now this is where I want to be. And March was touring the path of where I wanted to be. For me, that time I really started a graduate certificate program, which I just finished. And when I think back at it, I realized that it was more of a just do what you have to do, basically. And that's what I was doing. I think one of the biggest things for me in March was the highlights was, first of all, I just completed a module of my program, and I was excited to go away for a bit and spend time with friends. And it was a great time as well. And if there's anything that I've really stood out, if you've listened to these episodes again and again, you see that I kind of found solace in spending time with my friends. I kind of found solace in being away from my comfort zone. And I realized that sometimes we tend to be stuck in our own routine, and we get into this spot where we don't enjoy what we're doing anymore. We don't like where we are anymore. And we don't realize that our environment are contributing factors, in the sense that because we have been in a space for too long, it becomes known, it becomes normal, it becomes not exciting anymore, that we do begin to resent it. And if there's anything that I've learned, even from when I was doing my comprehensive, back in 2021, I think it was changing my environment whenever I was beginning to feel stuck, or changing my environment when I was beginning to feel what am I doing with my life? So I think every time this year when I took a step out from my environment to somewhere else, it was so refreshing, such a great time. Always there's this energy and energeticness that comes from spending time elsewhere. And then when you come back, you feel renewed, your space feels new again, you're getting accustomed to it. And then someone will ask, then what happens when you get back into the routine of, oh, now I'm tired of my space? You don't really have to even leave your environment completely. It could even be that going out of your home to somewhere else, or a park, your friend's place around you, or the office, or somewhere close by, or finding an activity that you enjoy doing and going to do it. I think for me, what I did was, I told you in about February, I started learning how to skate. So by March, I had something I was going to do every week. And then I also was able to step out of my home, maybe go to a cafe, go here, go there, to enjoy something else outside of my norm. And that helped me a lot. Sincerely, I was telling my sister recently that adulting is something that nobody ever prepared us for. Nobody ever gave us a manuscript to go through. It was just grow up, do this, and you'll be great. And we just realized we realized that we have to navigate the things that even those who told us to grow up did not expect we're going to experience they didn't get, so hence it was no manual for it. We just kind of just hit the ground running, and then life just keeps happening, and you begin to ask yourself, okay, what am I supposed to do now? Where am I supposed to go now? What am I supposed to do now? And so yeah, I think discovering every day what works for you has been one of the biggest things that has worked for me in the whole reality, in the whole world of adulting. And then yeah, that was really March. I realized that March was a month where I recorded myself a lot. Like what's the word when I say recorded myself a lot? I kind of documented verbally, like the way I felt, where I was, and it's been an exciting, like, if it's something I appreciated myself for doing this year, is documenting my feelings, the way I felt them in the months as they were happening. And I realized that as I started getting better from those feelings, and I started feeling a lot better from my my stuck spots, I realized that I wasn't writing as much anymore because my brain was feeling lighter. Even now, when I feel a little bit like stuck up in a space or feeling some type of way, what I do is either I write on my phone, I write on my journal, or I kind of just record myself because it just helps. Oh my God. It's very, 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 very liberating. I know I spoke to a friend recently, or a couple of months back, and we're talking about what we do when it's hard to just talk to God. Because I'm a Christian, and I said it a couple of times on my podcast, and I apologize for anyone who's not Christian. Might not get my context. As a Christian, I talk to God. I know there is a God that exists, and I know that a God that sees me and sees my heart and tries to help me through my difficult times. And there are times when you actually don't have the strength to actually talk to God, and you're just like, you know what? I don't even know what I want to do now. Instead of talking or praying, what I do is actually write them out the way I feel them. And it's just almost like praying. And then nobody taught us this. We have to just discover this on our own. So yeah, March was that month where I was pouring it out the way I felt it on paper or in recording. And then it was a great month. When I look back, I remember my friends did a whole surprise thing while we're out in Banff, and it was great. It was great. We started with celebrating a friend's birthday, and then it was my birthday to be celebrated, but I didn't celebrate it with them. It was like right smack down in between both days, like both our birthdays. We just picked the middle time to travel, and it was a great time. Would I change anything about March? Absolutely not. There's nothing about March I would change. I remember that in March also, I read more. Funny enough, I read better, like books. If you notice, if you've been on my Instagram, and Instagram DatOneLady at DatOneLady, I've ranted about the fact that I've not been able to read for the last part of the year. But the beginning part of the year, I read a lot, and I enjoyed reading. I think I read about 9 to 15 books. Reading 9 to 15 books in the month of January to March. And it was great. I read a lot of books. They were exciting, exhilarating. They made me excited for life. And if you know me, I read a lot of romance, and romance just puts the oomph in my day-to-day that sometimes my day-to-day doesn't have. So that was exciting. And I remember that research-wise, March was the month where I was already beginning to collect data, and it was going slowly, and I was beginning to get agitated because I had 6 months to collect my data. But luckily, it's all done now. But like in March, I was a little bit nervous. I was like, oh my God, how am I going to do this? How am I going to do that? What am I going to do? What's the best way to collect data, or best way to get people to fill out my questionnaire and stuff? And looking back now, they were very unfounded concerns and unfounded worries, but as a human, I worry. As a human, I would concern myself with things. But I'm grateful every freaking day for, the experiences of 2023. But the ups, the downs, the ugly, the good, the amazing, the not so amazing, they've shaped me. They've made me, and when you look back, you ask yourself, do we have to go through all these troubles to be able to realize that you can be great, or you can do better, or you can learn these lessons? No, you don't have to go through them. But the truth is, having gone through them, you are able to remind yourself tomorrow when you go through something worse, that if you could pass through that, there's nothing you're gonna go through. Even if you don't go through things, the mere fact that you can learn for the process of one issue is what I think is rewarding and what is worth living for. I might be wrong, but that's how I feel about it. But yeah, that was literally March in 9 minutes of something seconds. And Yeah, it is interesting that I have looked, or when I say I look back at March, I say I'm not a birthday person, or there was nothing to be excited for. But I'm grateful that I have given myself or given up my worries and concerns about different things to understanding what celebrating birthdays are. And I'm grateful that I have someone who constantly gingers me to celebrate birthdays. And I'm so grateful that I have the outlet to actually, look back at these days and then feel better about them, not feel worse or not feel like, oh, what was all that about? And I think if it's anything that I would like to share with every other person who's listening is take your birthdays important. Like seriously, I know most of us lived in a world where we don't celebrate birthdays. It was not that important, or what's the point? But even if you don't do anything, like you don't do any celebration, or you don't go and try, you don't go anywhere, you don't do anything, ordinarily just looking back at your life and looking back at you, where you were, what you're doing, and as a person, planning for yourself in the future, writing a couple of things down that you want to see yourself do better in the coming year. Could be something, taking stock of your life and saying, okay, this is year this. I want to do this. Can I do this? Like, it's like the same way you plan your day, you can plan your years. And it's also okay that you plan and maybe it doesn't work out, and that's fine. But I grew up not a birthday person, and I'm glad that even though I'm still not a birthday person, I have gotten a different meaning to what birthdays are. It was the day I was born. It was the day or the month I was born. The month where a new creation was brought into earth, and we all have purposes. So we should use our every year to kind of define what our purpose is, to try to understand what it is, in line with whatever you believe in whatever you stand for. And if you don't do that normally, it's okay, but I feel like we should all be able to do it. You understand? Okay, even if you don't want to plan your life, at least celebrate it with someone, because a lot of people are not able to see the next year. A lot of people are not able to see their next birthday, even though they wish they could. But you are opportune to. Why are you making this sad day? Why are you being very about it? If you heard me right, I'm not saying that you should go all out and do some big celebrations, but mere sense of just even being grateful for where you are at and where you're headed is pretty great. And I think everybody should have that opportunity to do it. And if you are looking for something to do on your birthday, there's something about doing good deed, donating to somewhere, someplace. Maybe you have so much money and you're like, you know what, I don't want to spend on myself, I want to do some good deed. Donate it somewhere. It will do good for somebody. And if there is one message or something I want to leave with everybody that kind of resonates with birthdays, is you as a person, if you want to know what tomorrow, what would people around you say? Birthdays or birthday months are the times where people, talk about their friends and share sweet messages and sweet things and say, oh, this person is that. If you were no more, what would people say about you? And if you can't find anything good right now, birthdays are times to create them. Start creating them by doing good deeds out there, spreading goodness and grace to people around you, making sure that everybody's okay. Even if it takes that your birthday, you do things for people instead of people doing things for you. That'd be great, So, yeah, that's my recap for March. Birthdays is all that surrounded March for me. And it was more of a transition from, chaos to figuring out what the year had in store. And every time I look back at 2023 and I'm looking back month by month, I just shake my head, because it's really been a year of ups and downs, and you would find out as we go about this recap one after the other. Anyway, guys, I would not waste your time any longer, and that's March. Is there anything I want to change about the month of March? No, absolutely nothing. There's nothing to be changed about it. It was perfect. It was good. It was great. Were there still cryings in March? Yes, there was cryings, but grateful for friends, family, and people around me that made sure that was a great time. Nonetheless, enough of my chitty chatter. I'll talk to you next week, guys. Have a wonderful day. Bye now. Thank you guys. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you enjoyed it so much, don't forget to share. Let your friends know. Let your sister, brothers, uncle, mothers, fathers know about it. It can help anybody. This can help anybody at all. So go ahead and share it. If you also have a question, comments, things you'd like me to do more, or anything you'd like me to hear, go ahead and leave me an email. Check the description and you will find my email there, and I would love to hear back from you guys. Thank you so much once again, and until next time, keep living, keep loving, and ensure that you're living your truth. And until the next podcast, have a wonderful day. Bye, guys.